What up, peeps? It's your girl Josh coming back to you for Real Takes. Today I have a lot in store for you guys to discuss today on movie news. A lot. I'm going to just discuss a little bit, of course, about last weekend's San Diego Comic-Con. And then, of course, I'm just going to jump right into the movie news. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it because I have quite a bit to discuss. It's really nice and thick. First and foremost about San Diego Comic-Con, of course, was not there this last weekend. I did not do movie news. There were so many trailers that came out that I wanted to get those out, and it was a lot going on last weekend with it. Now, I know, of course, we had stuff that, dropped for early in the week, like, of course, our Glass, we had Godzilla, King of Monsters, we had Shazam, we had Aquaman. Of course, we had trailers for shows like Arrow, Flash, of course, a little bit of a tease on Black Lightning, also some stuff in store for people who are fans of Supernatural, Doctor Who, of course, the reactions to that I saw for The Walking Dead trailer as well. Just a lot going on. Shows like, of course, movies, Venom, just so much. It was a full jam-packed weekend. I definitely did my reactions to quite a few of those. And I have to say, it was just a lot going on, and I loved watching. I was trying to go online a little bit just to kind of see what was going on with, whatever was put up for whatever panel. I tried to watch a little bit, of course, of Glass, where we get to see Anya Taylor-Joy, Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, Sarah Paulson, M. Night Shyamalan. I enjoyed watching a little bit of the one for Venom with Riz Ahmed and Tom Hardy. Then, of course, we had ones for, like I said, for other TV shows like Black Lightning, of course, one of my favorites, Supernatural. Then, of course, some of the cast from Shazam. Of course, the cast from Aquaman. Fantastic Beasts. It was just nice. One day I will say this. After watching some of it, and I've been watching San Diego Comic-Con online for the last, 4 years or so, and I said I'm going to try to find a way to get down there, if not next year, maybe the year after. I want to plan it where I can enjoy it, and hopefully I can run into some, fellow YouTubers that I love watching online, and meet them up close in person, and just to get to chat, converse, learn some stuff, whichever, and all that, and just see the people and all their love of TV and movies, because it just looks like it's just a fun time all to be had. I know it's a lot that goes into it. I can tell from the things I always hear of the people waiting, for days at a time, bunked out to get into Hall H, whichever, because I never knew the understanding of the way the people have to, do their thing of setup of trying to get into Hall H. I thought you had to, probably buy something to get into Hall H separately, but from what I'm hearing, that's not the case, and that makes me a little bit more excited at the fact of being able to get in there for one of the shows or movies that are being discussed in the Q&A panel, and I would love to do that. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind. So I'm thinking I might do possibly next year. I do have family down there. I can kind of, hang and chill with and visit them, so I can make it, where it's a little bit of, business as well as, family time, but personal time, excuse me. Or, I could do it 2 years from now where I can plan it really the way I want to and then just really enjoy it for what it is. But I'm also considering doing it next year because there's a YouTuber I do follow, a couple of guys that I actually enjoy watching, like J3 Entertainment and Jody's Corner. And I know that they had a situation where they went down, and at first it didn't turn out the way they wanted to, even though certain people they did meet, kind of helped it, to turn around so it wasn't so bad. I watched their video about it. It was unfortunate how certain individuals carried themselves. But just like J3 said, when you're in that particular field, you have to be on all the time because you just never know. And even if you don't want to discuss or speak with and all that, acknowledge and then keep it moving, but just being rude and all that. It was just really unfortunate because they're two cool guys, and I really wish it had been better for them understanding what they've been through. And I know some people have good stories, and sometimes, good stories and bad stories are things that end up turning around to, end up making it a better experience. So I know with them saying that they might come down there and instead of going to Hall H, they might just chill around there like a sports bar or something or whatever. I would enjoy that as much, like go down there, meet some of the YouTubers, hang out, see the cosplay, maybe, get some pictures, of some of the actors, signing autographs or whatever and all that. I've never been an autograph, person for getting those, I like the photos or whatever, because I've done a couple of cons or whatever, but that's just my feeling on that. But I would just have more fun just meeting a lot of the, YouTubers and people who just get dressed up, whatever, and have fun with it, and just make it, an event where, that's my way of being my first time being memorable for me. So I'm gonna keep that in mind because if he's considering doing it, I might do that, and I would love to meet them in person. So I follow them; they're cool, they're doing their thing. Wishing them continued success. So that would be awesome. So, but with that said, there's a couple of things I want to jump into in regards to some of the different movies that came out that were discussed in the panel, like one of them being Venom. Now, we already know what's happening where Eddie Brock is played by Tom Hardy, and there was discussion that came up by Ruben Flesher in regards to other things in regards to the movie. Some footage was shown during the Comic-Con, and it has addressed Riz Ahmed playing on the character Riot within the Venom, universe, which I found really interesting. Now, like I said, I didn't know a lot about Venom growing up, whichever. I don't read the comic books. Over time, I'm going to try to find a way to phase that in to my love of movies and, of course, TV shows so I can get a little bit more acclimated with understanding a little bit more. But like I said, I always tell people comment in the comment section, school me on some things. I have no problem, getting some extra information if I don't know. I have no problem with that. I love extra research and I love being told more stuff that I don't know, whatever it is. I'm welcome to that. Now for him, I'm excited because I was more so wanting to know more about the speculation of Carnage being a part of Venom, which I had already known about when I discussed it when I did the last trailer reaction, where that's supposed to be played by Woody Harrelson. Of course, his character's real name, is Cletus Cassidy within the movie. But now that I'm hearing more about, Riot being one of the, symbiotes, I'm actually intrigued. Now, I know that's one of many of his siblings. We have, Scream, Phage, Agony, and Lasher, if I'm not mistaken. So that's supposed to be considered like the children of Venom. So like I said, I'm learning, and I'm excited about that. This just gets me more hyped and excited to see this movie at the potential of what this can be. Also, hearing rumors from the director of possibly this could be leaning towards them possibly wanting to do a sequel, but it does depend on how good this one does, and that is key. And I feel like the trailer they show, I'm not sure what the footage looked like. I know that was more for the benefit of the critics and people for Hall H, whichever, and I'm happy they got to see it. I really do hope it leaks. I hate to say that. Shameful. I know, don't judge me. But I really want to see a little bit more now that I'm hyped up a little bit. But I said, you know what? Like I said, I'm patient. October is right around the corner. We don't have much longer. August is here, and it was September and October, and then we'll be able to finally get to see it. I'm really hyped to see this movie. I'm looking forward to seeing... and I was surprised, like no Woody Harrelson. I'm like, they're really keeping that tightly wrapped, like nothing. They, of course, just had Tom Hardy and Riz Ahmed, and of course, I think it was the director with them on the panel. So I was really surprised when we didn't see any of that. So, but it's fine, they give us little breadcrumbs, like I said, to keep us wanting more and all that. Like at first, when they did the teaser, a lot of people, like I said, were not happy about that, and that's fine. But then they gave us the trailer, and like a month or so later, whichever, and everybody was happy when they saw the reveal of Venom. And it was done really well. It's probably some people who thought the CGI might have been off just a tad, but overall, I really didn't hear any complaints. A lot of people were happy, and I'm glad because the amount of backlash, the fact that I didn't get to see it in teaser was just ridiculous, quite comical at times, but it is what it is. Some people want what they want. When you become honestly spoiled for certain things that most movies show you right away, when other movies do it, they don't, and they follow with what real teaser is supposed to be like, a lot of people don't like that, and that's fine. It's all fairness. It is what it is. Some of us can wait. Some of us don't want to wait. It is to each his own. So I'm really looking forward to seeing and hearing more character development with Riz's character, playing, the head of the Life Foundation, and of course seeing Eddie Brock played by Tom Hardy, seeing what he's going to bring on there because, like I said, he is a fan of Venom, so they went with him. He liked the storyline. He likes it. So I'm just hyped for this movie, and this does come out in October. So like I said, we don't have that much longer. We have once August is here, we have 2 months to go, and just like the summer will be over before you know it. So, but with that said, moving on. Now there were some other things that came up, of course, during San Diego Comic-Con. Of course, we got to see hear about some footage. I didn't get to see any footage because it was only specifically for Comic-Con. Was for Wonder Woman 1984, and I'm excited because, of course, Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot and Chris Pine were on attendance for the panel to discuss a little bit. They gave a little bit of footage. Of course, as you all see from the footage we have out, of course, as of late, the theme of it looking more 80s look, of course, being around the time of the Cold War, and then of course seeing of course the footage I showed the week before last with Kristen Wiig in regards to her playing the character Minerva slash Cheetah. So I'm excited to know that I can state that Natasha Rothwell will be added to the cast now with a particular role that's being kept quite secret right now. Don't know too much about that. I'm a fan of her work. She actually used to be a writer on SNL. She also is on one of my favorite shows on HBO, which is called Insecure, and she was also in the movie Love, Simon. So the girl is getting the work. She's doing very well. I'm happy for her. She is hilarious. If you all don't watch Insecure, you need to check it out. I mean, this is an ensemble cast. They all bring their part, but her little statements and ad libs at times are hilarious, and she has no filter on that show. I'm totally here for it. It's hilarious. So I can only imagine in what sense she will be playing. I don't know if it's going to be more of a serious role in this, or if it will be more at times comedic, at times comments here and there. I don't know. I want to think it's totally different from that. But Patty Jenkins had been following her and some of her work, and just felt she was perfect to come on board, and I'm so excited. I know Natasha said, post a little bit of on Twitter about look what look what has happened, whatever, look at this, you guys, and just kind of boasting a little bit about that, and she should, and rightfully so. She's doing great things, and she's expanding, and she's building, and this is really good for her, because being that this is Wonder Woman, this opens a lot more doors for other things down the road, whichever. You never know. This could open to more writing roles, maybe with Patty Jenkins, maybe with some other people. So I'm very happy for her. I'm excited for her. I'm excited to see more stuff. Hopefully, once we know more about her character, I'm looking forward to seeing that. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for that. And also some more shots of Kristen Wiig, hopefully. I know I'm not going to see the cheetah. I don't know why I keep thinking I'm going to. I know that's going to be tightly wound. They're going to keep that because we have a long way to go. This is to come out to 2019, so I'm jumping the gun, but a girl can wish for it. So, but with that said, you guys, now the date for this to come out, of course, again, is November of 2019. So like I said, we have well over a year to wait. But like I said, I feel like it's going to be worth the wait. Patty Jenkins is going to put her stamp on it. It was good discussion during the panel. I watched a little bit of that, so I'm very excited and hyped for that. So, moving on. Speaking of things, all things Hollywood, it's official, you guys. Fox and Disney have, worked on putting together that nice little approved merger. Now that is opening up a lot of doors. A lot of things are going to be changing. I'm actually excited for this. Now, this was in the works, I want to say, of late last year, like in November, they've been discussing this, whichever. I know this came up because a lot of people that I talked to when we were talking about the merger are hyped in regards to the MCU, because they want this to be affiliated with, of course, X-Men movies and, of course, the Fantastic Four. That was one of the things I kept hearing about. And I'm not surprised, because a lot of people are just thinking movie-wise, it's like the things they can do, all these things that can be, now lifted and can move forward. But MCU, at the pace they're doing with their Phase 4, this can come into play down the road, whichever and all that, but we got to get through the merger, which is fine. Now, being that the merger was approved and it was granted by the Department of Justice, so that's very fancy and actually a good thing, to let you know that it definitely is in the works. Now, I'm going to note out the things that are happening with this merger, because that was very interesting to me, because I wanted to understand a little bit more, since it won't be complete until early next year, but this is what they're saying is being confirmed with the two companies. 20th Century Fox, will form a new subsidiary referred to as New Fox, who will be responsible for a portfolio of news, sports, broadcast businesses. The 20th Century Fox and News Fox will then enter a new separation agreement with an organizational structure to ensure that this is handled effectively. Please. Shares and dividends will be distributed proportionally, of course. The remainder of the Fox will remain and retain all assets and liabilities and not transfer to the new Fox, will then merge with Disney. Shareholders will exchange their shares in Fox for shares in Disney. So yes, I'm as glad as a go. I mean, a lot of people were afraid this wasn't going to work, but now that it's been confirmed, that's a great thing. I'm actually happy and excited, so we can move this forward. And now I know Disney is looking most to seeing what they can do now with their new purchase. So it's going to be very interesting what they have in store long term. I'm excited to see, but then also with the good side comes a downside. It's going to be quite a bit of job loss, and that's the sad thing. When they do certain things like this, that causes jobs, to be lost, and that's the unfortunate thing. I know some people feel like once, they get off their feet with this merger, it'll build back up, but those people, have to find new work. So let's be realistic. That's the thing I always hate about things like this, because you never want somebody to lose their job, whichever. You hope they could stay on. So who knows? I won't assume it might be a small, significant job loss, or it could be a massive one. Time will only tell once more information comes out for that. So, but yes, moving on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Disney's going to be in store to do and what information comes out. And when it does, you already know, guys, I'm going to go ahead and post it on that and talk about that on here. So moving on. Now, also, I think Ryan Reynolds, of course, was at Comic-Con, if I'm not mistaken. And there's some news information that came out that I want to discuss about a new movie he wants to work on. And I thought it was really interesting because I remember seeing the original one in the theaters when I was younger. God, I had to age myself because Macaulay Culkin was young back then. You should already probably know what I'm talking about. They said he's developing an R-rated Home Alone reimaging movie called Stoned Alone. You heard me correctly, guys. Stoned Alone. Now, I was kind of like, really? And I got to talk about the premise of the story. Follows a 20-year-old who misses his plane for a ski trip and decides to spend his free time getting high, only to discover that people are breaking into his house. So many ways this can go with the fact the boy is at home alone getting stoned, and then who are going to be the characters. Now I already know he's not playing a 20-year-old, so they're going to figure out who's going to play that. Also, is he going to be one of those characters, similar to what's their names, Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci from the original Home Alone. So I'm like, is he going to be one of those characters? And maybe I'm thinking so, because he might be producing this, being involved. I want to feel he's going to be inside in the movie as well. So that'll be funny if he's one of those characters who's the one that's breaking into the house. That would make it even more funny. We already know that Ryan has a thing with, comedic timing in his movies and all that. That's one of the things that made me like him from the beginning. I've watched so many of his movies over the years, so I've been a fan of his work prior to Deadpool. I know some people came on board after that. No, I've been following him since a long time. I love him in so many things, but this is right up his alley. So, if his, company's on board, his production company, and then, the other powers that be who are involved, that would be nice, whichever. Also, I'm just curious. They said the director for this, her name is Augustine Frizzle. She did the movie Never Going Back. I'm excited about that. He's bringing on a female director to be at the helm of this, and that does intrigue me as much as well. And I love that he's considering doing that as well. So that's going to be something, because she is known for being an actress, whatever, and all that, and of course working to go behind the camera as well. And like I said before, I love when I see actors who get behind the camera, producing, directing, writing. That's also awesome, whatever, because they can bring something a little bit more to the craft, and also working with the characters in front, whatever. They have a better understanding, work with somebody who knows what they're doing in front of the camera, and understanding them, to work with them to make whatever they're doing, those scenes, just pop. So I am looking forward to hearing more information about this. More people who've been cast is at the beginning stages. I'm excited for this. He said R-rated. It can only be R-rated. You got people getting stoned in this, whatever. And I'm like, come on now. I said, it's going to be, foul language, all this other stuff probably in this movie as well. Just keep it just like I already know it's going to be. Straight up R. I'm down for it, whichever. So I'm looking forward to knowing more as time goes on. And as I said, I will give you all more information as I know more information. So moving on. Also talking about Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool 2, I want to discuss the director of Deadpool 2. Now, David Leitch, I'm familiar with his work because he's normally is known as being more of a stunt coordinator and all that. His first movie that he which was his directorial debut, was Atomic Blonde, which I enjoyed, was starring Charlize Theron and James McAvoy. Now, he did do a little bit of acting, not acting, but more directing, but he didn't have it listed under IMDb, which was John Wick. So, like I said, he has a good little action pace, background, whichever. Now, word is out, possibly, he's considering being at the helm of one of the most iconic films that I'm kind of iffy about him being on board with, is Enter the Dragon. When I heard that he would like to be at the helm of it and is considering, I'm just like, ugh. They discussed this over years and years of other directors coming on board, Spike Lee being one of them, whatever, but it always fell through. Now, I just don't know how I feel about that. I'm a fan of Bruce Lee. I watched him. Now, that movie came out in the early 70s. I was a little baby then. I didn't see this until I want to say it was probably 8 or 9 years old. Me and my brother watched this and all that, and we became fascinated with the movies, whichever, martial arts, because before that we didn't know anything about that. Bruce Lee honestly introduced me to martial arts on screen. So when I saw the movie, I was literally entranced with him. And of course, other movies came out. My mom would, rent them, VHS and all that back in the day, Beta, all that. And it was just nice to sit home and watch these movies, for what they were, whatever. It was just fantastic. The way he flowed his moves, whichever, and all that. I know now they probably be considered cheesy, but at the time they were good and they were great. And I was just like, this stuff is awesome. Like, what is this? So I don't know how I feel about him doing this. like I said, the thought of who they would cast to, bring up, to date the look, the role of the action sequence with, the moves and all that. That's interesting because the casting has to be on point. All the action sequences have to be on point, literally on point. Because if you're going to take this movie that is considered very iconic and then try to revamp it. That's why I said, everything that's old is becoming new all of a sudden. I don't know what's this thing where some things have to be, made. That thing to me personally still lives up and it still is. And people love Bruce Lee, whatever and all that, and still love to watch it. So I really feel like the pressure will be on him and whoever is going to be cast in that leading role. I mean, you have to straight deliver that, because if you don't, they're going to literally crucify you on social media and whatever articles from any critics known to man. And that's just my personal feeling. I don't feel like I'm far off by saying that. I feel like a lot of people would agree with me. So we'll have to see. I'm just curious. So, like I said, that's going to be a difficult task. So, the more information I hear about that, the more I will bring to you. Because I'm even curious now. Because I'm dying to know if is everything is going to be green light. Yes, he's now the director. Now, who's going to be cast? Who's going to be the supporting cast as well? So, but anyway, but moving on. But yeah, definitely looking forward to hearing more about that. Speaking about another movie, I'm looking forward to knowing more about. Not a reboot. Quentin Tarantino's movie. New. It's called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm interested in this one because it has two main leading actors that I do love their work, and that is Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. And I had to read up on this because I wasn't familiar with this, because this, is considered circa 1969. I'm a 70s child, so wasn't here to know all this greatness of this stuff. But reading off what it says, it said this takes place during the hippie heyday of Los Angeles in 1969. Faded TV Western star Rick Dalton, played by Leo, is struggling to remain irrelevant in Hollywood, alongside his longtime stunt double, Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt. While neither man seems to know what it takes to make it in Hollywood anymore, Dalton happens to have a very famous next-door neighbor, which is Sharon Tate, played by Margot Robbie. Now, from what I did hear about this in a little bit of articles, was some of the family of Sharon Tate didn't want them to go into too much detail, whatever, especially with the gruesome stuff that happened during that era, whichever, in regards to her. So they're going to not base it more off of that. They're going to go more along the lines of, keeping it from like the Tate, Manson, Manson family, just that whole time period, whichever and all, because they don't want to, have this fascination with it, because they've had enough documentaries and all that about Sharon Tate, whichever, I know for the family it could last a lifetime. So I know they don't want to have a resurgence of that, but they probably will, even though they might not be, pinpointing on her as much in the movie, as so is more Leo and Brad's character. But just the fact of her being in it is just enough to bring it back up to the masses, and then bring another fascination with some people who are not familiar with her, in present day, as a more so like me and some others who are fully aware of who she is. So, but this is a star-studded cast. Besides those three, and I'm gonna name some names off in this that has me even more intrigued. We have Al Pacino, Burt Reynolds, we have Damian Lewis, we have Dakota Fanning, Kurt Russell, James Marsden, just to name a few. So this is a star-studded cast. That's one thing about Quentin Tarantino. When he comes together with movie roles, I will say this: I love a lot of his movies. And the last movie he did was A Hateful Eight, which came out with 2015. So he does always have a star-studded cast. One person that is definitely missing from this that I heard is not in this is Samuel L. Jackson, and I think because of his commitments to Marvel, he could not do the movie. Not to say he won't do something else with Quentin Tarantino. They have a very good relationship. I'm not worried about that. Samuel L. Jackson's doing pretty good. He has Glass coming out. He's good to go. And then, of course, Marvel. So he's fine. So, but yeah, I am excited to learn about this. Like I said, Burt Reynolds, haven't seen him anything in most recently. Love some Al Pacino, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm familiar with Damian Lewis. Yeah, just looks like this might be something interesting. And like I said, I'm a fan of a lot of Quentin's movies, so I most likely might have to check this out. Once we see a trailer, I get a little bit more of a feel for it. That'll be the real deciding factor if I'm going to want to go and see this movie. Now, this is slated to come out in July 26th of 2019, and that is around the summer. I know there's a lot of stuff coming out. I want to say beginning of summer, maybe midsummer. So if they picked a good date, it should get some good, traction at the theaters that it'll do very well. And plus, with Leo and Brad being at helm, a lot of people are going to probably go see it when it first comes out that first weekend. This is a Quentin movie. I don't see this being in, limited. This is going to be definitely a wide release, so that's not even an issue. So, like I said, pick a date where nothing's around it for at least the first week it's out or the second week, then it should do some pretty good money at the box office. So, but moving on. Speaking of other things I'm looking forward to, I was talking about Bruce Lee. I remember a certain gentleman playing him in a movie role years later, Jason Scott Lee. There's word out that he's been added to the cast as a villain for Mulan, and I'm actually excited. I remember, God, it's been over 20 years since Mulan. I saw the animation. Was so beautifully done. I do love Disney's animation. I can never get tired of watching anything Disney anyway. Animation is just getting used to this live action thing that they're doing. I'm looking forward to, of course, the live action of Christopher Robin, which is based off of Winnie the Pooh. Looking forward to that, and some other things down the pike they're working on, The Lion King, and of course now Mulan. Now his character, let me note that he plays Bori Khan, a deadly warrior determined to avenge his father's death. Now I'm looking forward to seeing that. And there's another villain I think that's in this movie. I want to say it's Donnie Yen, who's of course from the Ip Man trilogy. Looking forward to him. I'm familiar with him. So yeah, I'm just excited to see Jason Scott Lee in something. I have not watched him in anything lately. I'm not even going to lie. I've not been keeping up with his work as of lately in the last couple of years. So I'm happy to see him. He's probably done quite a bit of things, maybe TV and some movies, whatever. Nothing that's mainstream, wide release that I've caught my eye to know what he's been doing in the last, say, 5 years. So I'm happy to see that he's in this. Now, this is slated for March of 2020, so that's giving him plenty of time to get this right. I'm like, wow, that's well over a year to see this. So yeah, that's like about less than 2 years time, like a year and a half at the most, maybe a little bit more. But that lets you know to get all the effects, everything down pat. And I like how Disney spaced these out because it gives them enough time to make sure everything is right. Casting, I love that this is not being, no offense, whitewashed. They are fully diversing this particular cast for this particular live action movie, and I'm happy about that. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what he's going to bring to the table, and that the cast is coming together now. Well, now we have the villains in that. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm glad to see him out and about and doing his thing. Now, speaking of some other movies, when I was saying everything that's being old is being new again, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, Child's Play, how I feel about them doing the remake. Now, word is out that Liv Tyler is being eyed to have a lead role in this. I'm going to tell you, I'm still not sure how I feel about this. I said that they're, of course, doing the movie, and then I'm hearing word that they're doing a TV series. I've not heard anything else about the TV series. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to come on. I'm assuming sometime going into next year. Nothing this year. I've heard nothing about it coming out this year. So if this is new discussion about them phasing it to start the TV series, I want to think next year for sure. I'm not sure in what instance she's going to be in it. They're not giving us any other details. She's just being looked at possibly to come on board. Now, I will say this movie will differ from the original. They said, we don't know if Chucky, of course, will be considered the good guy, how they're planning to do this out. The one thing that they did say, the remake will also feature a group of children rather than focus just on Andy that we remember from the original movie. It says giving it more of a Stranger Things vibe. Of course, most people, let me change that, some like to use Stranger Things as their, kill or go off vibe now, whichever and all that, like, I love the resurgence of the 80s theme of how things are, being done and how they use that, parlay with the show, whichever and all that. But I just hate when they feel like ever since Stranger Things, all of a sudden now is this 80s thing where I'm a child of the 70s. I was a teen in the 80s, You're not doing nothing new that I'm not familiar with. So it's like, but the younger ones coming up, now they get to see what we were talking about, because that's how I see it. 80s, I grew up, 80s horror, whatever and all that. It's good. It still holds up. It's still great. Pull the movies, watch them. They're still awesome. You see how all these remakes and reboots are being done with stuff from the 80s that lets you know how good that stuff was. And I'm going to stick to that. And that's how I strongly feel about that. But it is what it is. This is Chucky's voice will also change. I already know they already said Brad Dourif was not going to be on board with the new remake of Chucky. It's sad because I love his voice. I can only imagine. That's going to be a stickler as well. Although Brad Dourif's voice's character, he's done it, 30 years, MGM wants something fresh. So we're going to have to see how that plans out. And also being that, MGM had the rights to the original movie, but Universal has the rights to all of the sequels. So MGM, like I said, they have every right to make a remake, whatever and all that. And honestly, Universal could make more sequels, but I'm hoping they don't, because I'm fine with them. The last ones that just came out were fine. Cult of Chucky, so we had Cedar Chucky. All of them were fine. They're good for what they were. Some are rather comical, but it's just the love of the followers of Chucky. They love Chucky. They don't care. We know what it is, whatever, and all that. And you take it for what it is when you're watching those type of movies. Same thing like some other horror movies, whatever, like Saw, call it Jigsaw, whatever. I know the premise. I understand what it is, whatever, and all that. If you really like, the franchise, you'll follow them, wherever they go. So I'm trying to give the benefit of that. I need to see who's going to be cast. I need to see how this is going to play out. How's the Chucky going to look? Now the technology is a little different. It's going to be a little bit more CGI way of doing the doll. How's that going to play out? I'm very curious about that. So we'll have to see. Like I said, I don't mind the movie. The TV series, I'm trying to figure out what's the basis and the premises, again, for the TV show. How are they going to do that? If it's going to be a season, how's that going to work out to percolate into possibly a season 2? And then secondly, how many episodes? Is it going to be something similar to, like, say, for instance, Ash versus Evil Dead, where it's like 8 to 10 episodes, and then you have the next season, whichever. That's a good way to do it. But then it's like, okay, is this going to be something where, the evil spirit goes into another doll, and we have another doll? There's so many ways this could go. I just don't know, you guys. I almost want you all to comment about how you feel about that, because I'm just, at a loss as to how they're going to do that. But, it is what it is. But as I said, if I learn more, if Liv Tyler does come on board, I'll let you guys know if that's the case, who's going to be the kids that are going to be involved with this particular movie, the group of kids, who's going to be the lead kid, if there's a possibility. If it's not a group, I don't know. So we'll have to see. So as I know more, I will let you guys know more. So moving on. All right. Now, this is one that I'm actually excited to hear about, that I really am hoping to hear more as time goes on. Joe Manganiello has been talking about Deathstroke, not so much so, but he does keep getting asked about it, and Deathstroke is still in the works. But as of right now, there's nothing that they're trying to discuss so much about that. Now, I'm excited because I'm still waiting to hear what they're going to do about Deathstroke, and I still want to know what's happening with Batman. I have not heard anything in regards to Batman as of late. I think Ben is still on board. At first, he wasn't sure. He was hesitant after he did a couple movies and made that money. Then all of a sudden got real comical, brother talking out of turn about Batman, and then him coming back saying he's not sure, and then now hearing he's back on. Now, seeing that little tease at the end of the movie of Joe in full Deathstroke costume with the blonde hair, I'm not sure how I felt about that, but it's fine. We can go along with that. Whatever. He'd have the full costume mask on, whatever, so it won't take away from that. But I was intrigued, because even the people in the theater when I went to see the movie were like, oh, okay, I can get by and get the height with him and all the build, whatever. Just got to make sure those good scenes are good action sequences. So I'm going to tell you like this. That's some big shoes to fill, because I'm going to tell you, I'm a fan of Manu Bennett playing Deathstroke. He did an awesome job as Slade Wilson on Arrow. I love me some Manu Bennett. I've been following him really prior to that. I know he was in, of course, I became familiar with him when he did 30 Days of Night. And of course, he did my show, Spartacus. Oh my God, he was so good on Spartacus. So when I found out he was going to be on Arrow, and at first I saw him on Deathstroke, that's when I was like, okay, yes, see, that's a brother doing his thing on the show, and I'm going to continue following him. And then after they did him straight foul on Arrow, I kind of lost touch with Arrow for a minute. I know they brought him back on, kind of trying to make up, like a little peace offering, whatever, no, which was whatever. That's just a cue, their karma. But, he did it, whatever, and all. He's a professional, and he did his little thing, whichever, and all that. But it was so much potential for his character when he was on there, whichever, how it played out, whatever. But like I said, he did a good job. So I'm really behind Joe doing his thing. I know he was in Rampage. That was the most recent movie I saw him in. His part was very short, but it was very good when he was on screen. And I'm just ready to see him in some other things. I followed him when he was on True Blood, and he was good on that, playing the wolf, whatever. But I'm ready to see him get some more movie roles out. I'm wondering what he's been doing. So I'm hoping if they're considering doing this, they might start this in maybe 2019. We have a lot going on now with DCU. They're trying to, build it up a little bit, won't really be on par with Marvel right now, because Marvel has surpassed, they're too far away from them, but they're going to do their own thing, and that's all I want. We got, of course, discussions on Birds of Prey being worked on, possibly Nightwing, of course we got Joker, which I'm excited, all these things are happening, so I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that they're still kind of quiet right now, but under, closed doors, they're having discussions and all that, possibility and all that, and they're just taking their time. Please take their time, because I want them to do his storyline, that origin properly with Deathstroke, because I'm here for it and I want to see it. When they showed that little bit of, it was like a leaked footage of what looked like they think Joe was in it, of Deathstroke. I literally was so excited to see it. Whatever, it looked so good. You could hear some people like some screams and all that. I'm like, oh my god, that will be awesome. So yeah, I'm down for it. Joe, hold tight. It's coming. We're here for it. We're behind it. I know I'm behind it. Can't speak for everybody else, but I think, you know, they do it right. I think everybody will be on board too. So, but with that said, moving on. Speaking of Joker, I'm excited that some more people are being added to the cast. I mean, when they were talking about this like a month or so ago, whatever, and all that, I just thought it was just talks, even though Joaquin was deciding about this. But now it looks like he is definitely on board, of course. We now know Robert De Niro's on board, you know, to be in the Joker. Todd Phillips at the helm, and of course, Martin Scorsese. That right there had me. I was in right then and there because I know the amount of work is going to go into that script to make that thing just right. And now we have Frances Conroy, who's on board. I'm excited. I've been a fan of her work since she was on HBO 6 Feet Under. And since then, I've been following her work. I loved her on American Horror Story. She was phenomenal in her seasons that she's on. I'm hoping she'll be back soon. I just think she's just exquisite. And the fact that she's going to be playing the future clown prince of crime's mother, that would be awesome. So they're in the stages of discussing her coming on board. It's not definite, but I feel confident. I think she might like the people who are involved, the cast, and that might have her, you know, not salivating, but, you know, like, I'll be, not to say it, but I'm going to say it, stupid not to come on board. You got Joaquin and you got Robert De Niro. That's a great already cast right there building. You can't truly go wrong. So it would be really nice if she comes on board to do her thing, you know, and show what she's got, you know, to bring to the table with these two other heavyweights in this movie. And these are all three of these particular actors are very good at being very method like in their roles. So I can see how this is can turn out to be very well. And I just love that they're doing this origin. It's going to be so good. This is getting me even more hyped for it, you know, and this doesn't come out until October of 2019. So we have a ways to go. But like I said, they're already trying to seal in the cast, get the proper cast. You have the right writers and directors on board and executive producers. I feel very confident, and more so that I feel like this is going to be great for DCEU. This is awesome. I'm just like really tickled about this, you know, pinch me, you know, so yes, you guys, I'm looking forward to it. October 4th of 2019. I wanted to get the actual date for that, but yeah, October, a lot of good stuff's going to be coming out next year. Like I said, 2019 is filled with some good stuff. So, but yes, if any more cast members are added to the list, you already know. I'll let you all know about that. So, moving on. Speaking of another director that I'm loving, and I'm excited to see what he's going to be bringing to the table with this next directing movie, is Jordan Peele. He's working on his follow-up, which is called, what is it? It is called Us. I saw that he had posted on Twitter the poster of the movie. Now, I do know it's starring Elizabeth Moss. She's from Handmaid's Tale fame and Mad Men. Also, we have Lupita Nyong'o, and we also have Winston Duke, which, of course, is loved him as M'Baku and Black Panther. I'm so happy he's getting other roles now. And we have some other people that have been added to the list of the characters to be in this particular movie. This is Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who plays Black Manta in Aquaman, and then Anna Diop. She's also in I think the show I want to say Titans, whatever that's going to be on TV. So yeah, she's getting some buzz as well. This is a nice star-studded cast. I'm actually excited. Don't know too much about the storyline. They're not giving that away. I'm looking forward to, hopefully he'll give us a little bit of something, but he's being very cryptic, but that's okay, because with Get Out, we didn't know a lot about the overall storyline until we all saw the trailer. We still didn't understand what was going on, because as you all know, when they edit things together, you know, you kind of look at it like, you know, what's going on here? What is this? Because I'm going to be honest with you, when people watching the trailer, even myself, but I didn't think that, but I saw a couple of my favorite YouTubers, they were like, what am I watching? What is this? You know, some people, they watched it the first time and they had to watch it again. And it was just hilarious for what it was, but the movie was so good. Get Out. Let me put it like this. When I saw Get Out, just like I said, when I saw Glass, I saw that thing 4 times. I went and saw it the first time, and I was just like literally watching this, because there was so much stuff happening, all these different clues of certain things happening, that I was just trying to take it all in. I went on a Saturday, Then I went with a friend on Tuesday to watch it, $5 movie, whatever. No, I'm going to go see it again. It was packed and I loved it. It was awesome. All this diversity in that theater and all that. Everybody was feeling it, whatever. Then I went and saw that following Saturday and Sunday. So I saw it 4 times. There's only two other movies I saw, that Glass and Logan. I don't do that often. You'll get 2 times out of me, but it's rare you get 4. But that movie was that good, and it was worth every penny. I didn't mind Jordan Peele getting my money. It was well worth it. But for this one, they're considering giving him a little bit of not to say pressure with that sophomore slump that they always like to throw out there. I feel very confident. Jordan Peele, even though I know him from Key and Peele and all the work he did with all those different skits, the formula that he uses for what he was trying to convey in certain small ones, whatever, and all that, with the potential to open up and do a more full-fledged movie. And after what he did with Get Out, and then he's a part of the next movie that's coming out soon, which is Black Klansman, working with Spike Lee. I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. And seeing this cast that came into this, feel very confident. I'm not even going to entertain all that nonsense, whatever, and all that. But I know they like to do that because they like to throw that out there with other people who've done other movies in the past. And I just feel like, I don't like to do that to directors or whatever. That's just not fair. I know some people really hold this. If that second one comes out and it's not good, then when the third one comes out, it's like, like, I don't know if I want to go. And it's just like, give it a chance. I need to see a trailer. Why am I going to assume anything until I see a trailer? I need to see it. So we'll have to see how that pans out for this one. I know this comes out March of 2019, so we don't have that far to go. That's what, oh gosh, that's about, I'd say 7-8 months out the park. Well, more like 8-9. Excuse me. Let me get my math right. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to. So I want to think maybe probably by the fall time. Maybe October, we might get something. October, November, we'll see like a little trailer. He'll give us a little something, and then he'll give us like a full-fledged, official trailer, and then we have something to work with. That'll be nice. I'm looking forward to it. I have faith in Jordan Peele. I think he's great. Oscar winner, great writer, director, actor, behind the camera, in front of the camera. He's got this down pat. So, guys, comment below. Let me know what you all think. Are you all looking forward to that follow-up on this movie? Do you feel like it's going to do well? I'm just curious. Excuse the phone. I'm in the middle of recording. I'm not even going to get it. I'm going to let the phone ring. Sorry, guys. Now, one of the things I'm actually excited about, that I was actually surprised and kind of bummed that it's not going to come out in the theaters, is Andy Serkis' Mowgli, which is supposed to be coming, and it's been, bought actually by Netflix. I'm actually excited because I want to see it, and I'm happy for it because I know about a year or so ago we had the other Jungle Book movie that came out, and this one was a little bit of a differentiate from that one, and I know he wants to make sure that's being noticed so they don't try to compare, but people are going to compare it anyway, and that's fine. Now what they're saying is this has been worked on for quite a few years, whichever. From what they're saying, this was scheduled to come out in 2016, but then you remember that I talked about the other one, and then it's supposed to come out in 2017. Now it's supposed to come out, maybe going to next year, but now that's kind of how it's looking like it's going to be now. Now that Netflix is kicking on board, and that's great, whichever. Now they're just trying to circle dates, Netflix and Circus, to see what's the best fit for it to be live streamed, to be watched on Netflix. Now, I already planned to. I saw the trailer. I loved it. I love the cast that's attached to this. I have faith in Circus. He is an awesome actor. And I can just imagine what he's done, being that he directed. It's just awesome to me because I'm used to him in front of the screen and love that he's directing, behind the camera now, to hone those skills that we already know that he has, just a legion, just extraordinary work, whichever. And I'm like, it's long overdue, the accolades he's getting from the stuff that he's putting out, for Hollywood, whichever, with regards to the movies that he's in and also the movies that he's trying to develop. So, but from what he says, and I'm going to read part of his statement, he says, I'm really excited about Netflix for Mowgli. He says, now we've avoided comparisons to other movies, and it's a relief not to have that pressure. I've seen the 3D version and it's exceptional. A different view from 2D version. Really lush and with great depth, and there will be some kind of theatrical component for that. What excites me most is the forward thinking at Netflix and how to represent this and the message in the movie. The understanding that this is a darker telling that doesn't fit into the 4-quadrant slot. It's really not meant for young kids, though. I think it's possible that 10 or above can watch it. It was always meant to be PG-13, and this allows us to go deeper with a darker theme, to be scary and frightening in moments. The violence between animals is not gratuitous, but it's definitely there. He says this way of going allows us to get the film out without compromise. So yes, I'm looking forward to, you know, just watching it. I'm looking forward to it. I know John Favreau did his 2 years ago. That's the one that we talked about for the Jungle Book for that. I'm a fan of his work as well. I saw the trailer for this one. I love that one. That one was good, but this one, like I said, is a little bit more darker, a little more grittier. So that's why I'm looking forward to seeing his and seeing his take. But like you said, he's going to get comparison regardless. There's no way around that. There's no way. So I know hopefully he's ready for that. But I know all of us like it. A lot of us have Netflix. People who don't, if you want to watch it, or if they have a way, a lot of people, let's just be honest, people stream it. You know, people find ways to get a copy of it. It's going to happen, whichever. But I hope a lot of people do have Netflix and will enjoy it. I do, so I definitely plan to watch it when it's live streamed. So hopefully this is coming out. I want to think probably maybe if not winter or spring, since they said they are circling dates between the two people to see what works the best to get the most out of the people to want to watch and see this. So all right, now I'll keep tabs on that. When I know more about the date, I'll go ahead and let you guys know about that. So, but moving on from that, my last and final bit of news is one of my favorites to discuss as well. And like I said, you all know me. I love everything, but I love me some horror. And I was excited to hear about this news. This is Shudder, who wants to bring back Creepshow. Let me tell you, I love horror and all that, and loving watching Creepshow when I was younger was it was scary, and that's what it was, whichever and all that. Me and my brother, watched stuff that we weren't supposed to be watching, just sneaking it like we knew better. Like I'm not asking for a whooping when my parents tell me not to watch it, but we do it anyway. We didn't care, and I just loved it. I love the ones, if y'all remember, the certain ones with Stephen King, turning into grass, or the one where the husband didn't like the wife, and he brought this, creature, and it, ate her up and he threw it back into the sea, or the one with Ted Danson where he was, having an affair with the guy's, Leslie Nielsen's woman, whatever and all. He came back, looking all like straight out of Swamp Thing, just a mess. It was just so good. I remember the one with the voodoo doll with the boy who didn't like the guy. He kept picking it and he kept in the throat. Oh my gosh, all the good ones. It was so many good ones, but those are the main ones that just jump right out to me as I discuss with you guys. But what they're saying is a reboot from Tales from the Crypt may be indefinite, excuse me. But from what they're saying is Greg Nicotero wants to bring back Creepshow. He, as he put it, let me read. He says, Creepshow is a project very close to his heart. He says it's one of those titles that embraces the true spirit of his horror, thrills, chills, and celebrates in one of the truest art forms the comic book comes to life. I'm honored to continue the tradition in the spirit which is created. He says the series is scheduled to debut on Shudder in 2019. I don't know when in 2019. I'm hoping more going to spring, maybe summer, not until late next year, closer to fall. I'm praying earlier than later. Each episode will tell original stories and helmed by a different filmmaker, which I like the sound of that. And it's like a homage to the comics of the 50s. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. I can't say enough about that. I love that they're trying to bring back some of the stuff. I know they've been discussing about Tales from the Crypt, bringing that back too. We'll have to see how that's going to pan out as well, because I watched that when I was on HBO too. I love me some Tales from the Crypt. But Creepshow was before Tales from the Crypt, and that's the one that I remember very fondly and loved and adored and watched, whichever. I used to be very scared. Nightlight was on. It was just fun. You sit there and try to see if you can watch, whatever, the movies and all that, and just get into that. It's so many different ones. It was so good. I'm going to have to pull those babies up. I need to watch those again to get me kind of hyped and ready for it when he brings it back. But I just hope they do it a good service and make them very creepy, make them scary, gory, all that good stuff, whichever. So I can discuss it. I might even react to them. I think I might do that. That might be one of those ones I might react to. I wish I could react to it in the dark and record it, but you all couldn't see me. That's kind of defeating the purpose. But that's fine. I might have to consider that. So I'm going to keep that up in the air for me. So, but yes, you guys, I hope you guys enjoy that. I have one more. I'm sorry. I forgot to bring this up. Okay, this has to do because I did my review, which I'll be posting up very shortly later today. My movie review to Mission Impossible 6 Fallout. Director Christopher McQuarrie. Like I stated when I did my review, he had discussed working so closely, with, of course, with Tom Cruise, and enjoying working with Henry Cavill as well. And of course, having a history with Tom Cruise. I remember I said he'd directed him, of course, in Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible #5. He worked with him on Jack Reacher. He, written Edge of Tomorrow. He's working with many Valkyrie, so many different things. So they have a good little friendship, romance, friendship, whatever, bond, whichever. Now, words out that Christopher is open to possibly doing Man of Steel 2 and Green Lantern. Now, I thought that was interesting. Now, I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen with Man of Steel 2. It's long overdue. So hopefully we'll learn more about that. I know Henry Cavill, of course, he's probably working on some other things, whatever. Nothing has come to fruition right now because he's been doing press for Mission Impossible 6. But I know when he posts pictures on Instagram at times, of course, keeping the body right, whatever, and all that, I'm hoping it's prep because they're considering, or there's tightly wound about discussing that. But I'm hoping going to 2019 they might be getting ready to consider working on Man of Steel 2, because I would really like them to start doing that. I know they have all these other things going with DCEU, but a lot of people are ready for Man of Steel 2. I am one of them. I love the first one. I enjoyed it, immensely. I'm ready for the second one. Now, for Green Lantern, that's an iffy one, and that's an iffy subject to discuss because, of course, Ryan Reynolds with the helm of that. And honestly, that was some garbage. It is what it is. It's not his fault, whatever, and all. A lot of people like to blame him, but it's like, no, you only go with what you're given and what you work with writing and directing with that. So that's all I can say for that, not to, put it all on him. That's fair. That would be interesting. Now, they said word out with that as well, as they would like to see if Tom Cruise would like to come on board to be considered for Green Lantern. I'm like, okay, to play the Green Lantern or to be a part of Green Lantern, which one? I'm curious. Really? But I don't know. We'll have to see how that pans out. Now, I'm down for the Man of Steel too, since he's now working with Henry. I don't know how I feel about the Green Lantern one. That one right there, it seems like it's kind of hard for them to figure out what they want to do with Green Lantern for who they want to cast in that. I said they want to do Green Lantern Corps. I don't know. That's in discussion and it is being considered being done, but it's like it's not getting off of the ground for who's going to be on board, because I know they have to figure out who's going to be the director, who's going to be the writer. Get that origin story right. Please do this one right the next time around, because I'm going to tell you, I already know with that merger happening and what they're trying to do with, of course, X-Men and, of course, Fantastic Four. After that last movie came a couple years with some garbage. The potential was there, and they just jacked that all up. They better get that one right too, because I know they want to reboot that baby, like they've been rebooting some other things. They rebooted Spider-Man. I feel like they finally found the winner with Tom Holland at the helm. He's going to be in that for a minute, so I'm hoping he's enjoying doing it. I just don't know. Whoever comes on with this Green Lantern, if it does well, I don't know if this can parlay into a possibility of a sequel. I don't know. We'll have to see. Henry Cavill, he's going to do Man of Steel 2, which he probably is contracted to do. It's just a matter of when, who's going to be on board to do it, whichever. Will that open up to doing a possible third one? So much to discuss with that. I just don't know, but I'm down for whatever they want to do, and I'm hoping that it's coming up in 2019, or at least discussion at the table, so we can move this forward. So going forward with maybe 2020, 2021, they can get off board, so they can basically, seal in a date to make sure they have it. So once they have that date, then they know, okay, it's now crunch time. Let's get this movie going and get this off and running, so we can get this and figure out, of course, the next thing I want to know, who's going to be the villain, and keep it moving. So that's just kind of how I feel about that. So yeah, they're kind of up in the air, but I like he put it out there. Like I said, down for Man of Steel, 2. Not sure about Green Lantern, iffy about that, but we'll see how that pans out. So, but with that said, also one last little thing, I did hear news broke that Arnold Schwarzenegger is now on set. He's now doing the next Terminator, which of course is starring Linda Hamilton. I'm excited about that because, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm so happy she's back. I'm looking forward to this. And like I said it before, they're acting like the other ones didn't happen. I don't know how they can bypass Judgment Day one, because that one was epic, but it is what it is. It's fine. Terminator, and then the next one coming out, it's fine. I'm just glad to see those two on board. I'm looking forward to seeing some pictures of them on set. I didn't see anything posted as yet, but he did put it out there that he is on set now, and now it's getting down to getting it done. So I'm looking forward to anything that gets shown with him and her, or them together, or them just joking, playing on set. That would be nice to see, because I would love to post that. So, but with that said, you guys, that is all of my movie news. I hope you all enjoy. Comment below on any of the stuff I discussed. discuss. I want to get your feedback, what you guys feel. Again, let me know what you all felt about San Diego Comic-Con. You enjoyed it, or you all wanting to go? Have you all gone? What did you think of it? I'm curious to know what you all think about that. But with that said, you guys, I will see you guys on the next movie news. You guys take care.